Hello everyone, my name is Joseph and welcome back to the Popsicleknight channel. This video is sponsored by PTCGO the best place for you to get Pokemon TCG code cards. And please remember to use my code KNIGHT22 at checkout so that you can get a 5% discount. Please enjoy the discount and your purchase directly supports the content I create in this channel. Thank you guys so much for your support and for your supporting PTCGO. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at Radiant Eternatus from the Crown Zenith set. Radiant Eternatus has the ability Climactic Gate. When you put this Pokemon from your hand into your bench, you can then search your deck for up to 2 VMAX Pokemon and put them onto your bench. However, when you use this ability, your turn will end. But what I'll be showcasing today is a build where you can literally plug in any VMAX, set them up with Radiant Eternatus, and be able to energize them easily and start attacking. And the key to this combo is KLINKLANG with the Triple Gears ability. When you evolve into this Pokemon during your turn, you can search your deck for up to 3 basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. This is what's going to energize our VMAX Pokemon. So what you want to do is make sure you can set up at least one basic Kling on your first turn, and then use Radiant Eternatus to put your VMAXs in play to end your turn. And on your second turn, all you have to do is find Peony. This will allow you to search your deck for 2 trainer cards and put them into your hand. So with this, all you have to do is get a rare candy and an evolution instance, and the evolution instance can get us our KLINKLANG to evolve it. However, one bad thing about evolution instance is that it is rotating out, but you can probably substitute in capturing Aroma, but you will need to flip heads to get an evolution Pokemon from your deck. And I think another way to pull this off post-rotation is with the help of the Arven Spore card. This allows you to search your deck for an item card and a tool card. You can use this to get a rare candy and the Forest Seal Stone, equip it to one of your VMAX, use Star Alchemy, and search out your KLINKLANG. Again, you can evolve it and then you can energize your VMAX Pokemon. One thing I did include on most of my decks, however, is anything that counters any Pokemon that blocks attacks from V Pokemon like Miltank. And surprisingly, this Luxray can actually work on most of these builds as well. It has the explosiveness ability. On your first turn and this card is in your hand while you're setting up, you can actually put this Luxray face down as your active Pokemon. And then it also has the attack Seeking Fang. For 1 colorless energy, it deals 50 damage, and then you search your deck for 2 trainer cards and put it into your hand. I'm not going to go through everything in each of these decks, but I will be showcasing 3 different builds in this episode. This base build will not always work with 100% consistency, but you should be able to pull this off most of the time when you do get the cards you need in your opening hand. Anyways, that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck lists in the description below, and now enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Radiant Eternatus. Alright, let's get right into our first match. My opponent goes first, and in this particular build, I'm focusing mainly on Duraludon VMAX and Rayquaza as my main attacker. I did include a lot of other VMAX Pokemon in this build, such as Flying Pikachu VMAX, of course, to counter those basic type of builds, single price builds that are pretty strong too. And I also have Espeon VMAX to counter the Lost Box, preventing Sablei's effects of attack from affecting our Pokemon. So other than that though, mostly our main focus will be Duraludon VMAX and Rayquaza VMAX. Now Rayquaza VMAX is pretty good too. It has an ability that discards your entire hand and then you draw 3 cards, and it's actually good to pair with Rose, because Rose also discards your entire hand, but then you can accelerate basic energies from the discard pile to your VMAX Pokemon. But I think I scrapped that because it wasn't working out too well. But Peony is a great card for this deck because we're really going to use our KLINKLANG to energize our VMAX Pokemon. And in this build, I only have 2 basic Pokemon, so you are going to be starting with a basic Klink, or you can start off the game with Luxray, which we weren't able to actually start with in this particular matchup. But Luxray is actually pretty good too. On your first turn, you can, and even if you're going second, you can use its attack to get 2 trainer cards from your deck and then put them into your hand. So it's a good setup option. But as of right now, my opponent is just doing really great with their Muse, finding the item cards they need from the top few cards of their deck, and they're also using Gengar VMAX as their main attacker. And this is a pretty neat matchup because it's a neutral matchup. I think the only Pokemon that is weak against Dark is Espeon VMAX, so we have to watch out for that. We don't have any basic Pokemon in our prizes with the Hisuian Heavy Ball, and I don't think I want to use Peony just yet. but I need to draw into more cards here. Let me just put the fire energy on Klink. That's gonna help us retreat. We got 2 quick balls, dude. That is pretty awesome. We can get our Radiant Eternatus now. So let's go ahead and get rid of Luxray. That's useless now. I'm just gonna set up Klink, and then we can get our Radiant Eternatus to set up our VMAXs. And I mean, if I use Peony, it's gonna discard everything, but I think I'm gonna just discard this Scoop Up Net, get my Radiant Eternatus, and now we can set up our Duraludon VMAX, and I think I'm gonna go for the Rayquaza VMAX. So now what we can do here is, again, when we use Peony, it's gonna discard even the Evolution Incense. Hopefully, we have another one in our deck. And that's why you want enough cards in your deck to be able to pull this off. But Evolution Incense is rotating out, and we really have few options. We have that new card where you flip a coin. You can get either a basic Pokemon or an Evolution Incense or an Evolution Pokemon, but it's not always a guarantee. Because Peony can only get you 2 trainer cards, and Ultra Ball's not gonna work because you have to discard 2 extra cards to use it. So that's gonna be a problem. One other option that I was thinking post rotation is Arven, where you can search out an item card and also a tool card, and that's what I was thinking of, just using the Forest Seal Stone to search out any one card. And if you can get an item card, just get the rare candy, then get the KLINKLANG, and then you can easily evolve one of your Klink to energize your VMAX Pokemon. So that's another option. I think that would work pretty well, actually. So that means you'll have to remove all the Peonies in your deck and then just replace it with Arven. And so I think this base build could still work. Just replace the Peony with a bunch of Arvens. Alright, so my opponent has now evolved into their Gengar VMAX, and that Gengar VMAX can actually be substituted to this base build as well. And when you use your Radiant Eternatus, set up your Gengar VMAX, and then just use evolve into KLINKLANG. You can, oh dude, we got a KLINKLANG from our top deck. That's gonna be a problem, because if one was prized and I wasn't paying attention actually when I used the Hisuian Heavy Ball. Let me just energize my Duraludon. Okay, we got an Evolution Incense, rare candy, and okay, we got one. We have we have one left in our deck, so we could pull this off. So let's go ahead and get our KLINKLANG with Evolution Incense, evolve this. We can retreat our active, and we can fully energize our Duraludon VMAX, and we put a Dark Energy on Radiant Eternatus actually, because we can use that to attack. Let me retreat into Duraludon, and we're just gonna use Rayquaza's ability to draw extra cards, and we can actually use our Ordinary Rod to recover. Let's go ahead and recover KLINKLANG. We don't need Luxray. That's only good on your first turn, and might as well recover this Fire Energy. And we're just gonna attack. G-Max Pulverization for 220 damage, and that gets us our first prize. So we got a Lightning Energy, and like I said, Rayquaza can attack as well. It does a lot of damage actually. It requires 1 Fire Energy and Lightning Energy to start, and then you can discard either a bunch of Fire Energies or a bunch of Lightning Energies, and then multiply that by how many energies you discarded that way. So here we are. My opponent has 2 energies on their Gengar VMAX. I mean, they have Dark Patch. They can also energize their Gengar. They're gonna boss my Rayquaza. Okay. Attempting to trap my VMAX in the active spot, but we have a switch in our hand, which is pretty good. We can just switch out our Rayquaza and go from there. And actually attaching that hiding energy on their Gengar VMAX makes our Duraludon VMAX immune to its attack. So that was actually a bad choice on our opponent's part. Let's go ahead and discard those two. Okay, another rare candy. There it is. We can fully energize another Pokemon if we need to. We're just going to attack their Gengar VMAX for 220 damage and go from there. So at this point, their main attacker cannot damage our Duraludon VMAX unless they have any way to turn off. Okay, Cross Switcher is good. They could just snipe my Rayquaza VMAX, knock it out, get 3 prizes for that. But then we are going to just knock out their Gengar VMAX if they attack with that. And they're just going to pass. Okay. We got an Avery from our top deck, though. We can force them to discard their cards, but they're just probably going to discard their Gengar VMAX. So we're just going to get another prize with that knockout against their Mew. We got a Boss's Order, so we can even target their Galarian Moltres, which can deal a lot of damage late game. But as of right now, we're not too worried about Gengar VMAX. And yeah, on some matchups, Duraludon VMAX is actually pretty good because it just blocks out any attacks from your opponent with a special energy attached to them. So yeah, Duraludon VMAX is pretty crazy. They are going to use their Cross Switcher to target our Rayquaza VMAX. They are going to get 3 prizes for that. And I think I'm just going to attack with Radiant Eternatus, to be honest with you. This is a Radiant Eternatus showcase after all. And that's one thing you have to also consider is attacking with Radiant Eternatus, especially if you have all the energy requirement in your build. So yeah. Alright, we got a knockout with Radiant Eternatus, which is actually pretty insane. Alright, we got Crystal Cave, an energy, and a Quick Ball. So yeah, unless they can knock out my Duraludon VMAX, my opponent can't really do much at this point. They will knock out our Radiant Eternatus. However, we will just knock out their active. Okay, there's a scoop. Good game. Alright, let's move on to our next match. This time we're going first. Both of us are going to mulligan. And unfortunately, we are going to start with Radiant Eternatus. That's really bad, but thankfully we have a Scoop Up Net and a Quick Ball, so we can use our Radiant Eternatus on our first turn while using a Quick Ball to set up our Klink. So in this particular build, my main attackers will be Blastoise VMAX comboed with Kyurem VMAX. And if we do have an encounter with Pokemon that blocks V attacks, we have our Empoleon V, which turns off basic Pokemon's non-rule box basic Pokemon's abilities. So we can just get through, for example, the defense of Miltank. So with this Quick Ball, I'm just gonna discard a Water Energy and get our Klink, scoop up our Radiant Eternatus, put an energy, use Radiant Eternatus to get our Blastoise VMAX and also our Kyurem VMAX. There it is. Our VMAXs are all ready to go. We can also retreat our Klink as long as my opponent does not knock it out. And we're actually going against a lot of Pikachus. I saw Pikachu V Union when my opponent had to mulligan, and a bunch of VMAXs, Flying Pikachu VMAXs, and Blastoise VMAX is actually weak against lightning, so we have to watch out for that. Thankfully, Kyurem is not. It's weak against metal. Oh, dude, that actually was a bad thing. They have Crushing Hammer. They remove our actives energy. We did get another energy from our top deck, though, which is pretty good. We have Rare Candy and also an Evolution Incense. So what I'm going to do is retreat first, put our Blastoise VMAX in the active, and then we can evolve into KLINKLANG. Get our 3 energies, put it onto our Blastoise VMAX. We can attack with Blastoise VMAX, and what makes Blastoise VMAX great is that after attacking, you can actually energize your other Pokemon. But let's go ahead and use its ability here, Kyurem's ability. We didn't get any energy, and I'm just gonna use my Peony and ensure that my next turn will be more productive. I'm just gonna go for the Forest Seal so I can search for anything on my next turn and scoop up net. I could reuse my KLINKLANG on our next turn, right? Let's go ahead and just search out another water energy. And I'm just gonna Grand Falls, 120 damage, accelerate 3 energies to our Kyurem VMAX, and then go from there. So in this particular build, I will not be able to attack with Radiant Eternatus because obviously I don't have the energies we need to power up Radiant Eternatus attack. So we're just counting on water type attacks for this particular build. But like I said, you can mix and match. In this particular build, we're only focusing on our water type VMAXs, which actually is pretty good. And if my opponent has any way to energize their Pikachu VMAX, we can actually get knocked out. Because like I said, Blastoise VMAX is weak against lightning, but they're not gonna be able to attack, and we survive another turn. But that's gonna be it for our opponent's Pikachu VMAX. Just gonna scoop up my KLINKLANG here, use my ability, and I'm just gonna finish off their active along with a bench damage, and that's gonna get us 3 prizes with that knockout. We need another rare candy to evolve into another KLINKLANG, but it's not as necessary because both of our attackers is fully energized already. So that's one thing I like about this particular build. It's just very fast. And there it is. Oh, they're gonna paralyze me though. There's no way for me to get out of this situation. We got another Klink with this Hisuian Heavy Ball. Let's go use our Marnie. Maybe we can get a switch or something. We didn't get anything, so we're trapped. Maybe that Marnie was not a good idea, because now if they evolve into a Flying Pikachu VMAX, I mean, they could just attack and knock out my Blastoise VMAX, I guess. But they have to flip a coin to be successful. But if they can evolve it, our Blastoise is pretty much finished. However, if they evolve into a VMAX, we can finish off their VMAX with our Kyurem VMAX as well. And one thing you have to keep in mind though, if you do draw into your VMAX and you play Radiant Eternatus, then you won't be able to set up your VMAXs if it's in your hand, because it only works if you have those cards in your deck. So Radiant Eternatus allows you to search your deck for VMAXs to set up, but if you draw into them, yeah, your whole strategy is pretty much ruined. And yeah, there's a lot of downside to Radiant Eternatus, but for the most part, it works pretty well as long as you have the RNG on your side. My opponent fails their attack, so we're just gonna continue to attack, knock out their active, deal some bench damage, and we get another 2 prizes for that, and that's pretty much game. Kyurem VMAX can just finish off any other Pokemon they put in the active. It doesn't matter if it is a VMAX or what. They're gonna discard one of our energies from our Blastoise, but regardless, again, Kyurem can just finish off any of our opponent's Pokemon. So they're just gonna charge up their Pikachu. Unfortunately for our opponent, their setup was not fast enough, and I'm just gonna retreat and attack with Kyurem to finish off this game. So here we go. Max Frost for 4 energies to discard, which deals 320 damage, winning us the game. There it is. Good game. Alright, let's move on to our third match. Again, we get to go first, and if at all possible, going first is actually pretty ideal with this build, because once you set up your Eternatus, you can end your turn, set up your VMAX, and then hopefully you can energize your Pokemon going into your second turn. Okay, we're gonna start this one with our Hisuian Decidueye though, and Hisuian Decidueye is good in a lot of ways. Let's go ahead and use our Hisuian Heavy Ball. No basic Pokemon. You just put this energy, and Lake Acuity is gonna help us increase our defense. I'm gonna discard these two to set up my Radiant Eternatus and get my VMAXs. I'll just get Sandaconda VMAX and my Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. So in this particular build, I am mostly using Sandaconda as my main attacker, and I have the option of using Single Strike or Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX depending on my my matchups. But Hisuian Decidueye is actually really good. It has an attack that goes through any defense. So even if my opponent is using Miltank, it just goes through that. And it also has a first attack that allows you to search your deck for whatever card you want. So let's go ahead and just get a Klink and a Peony. So yeah, Hisuian Decidueye is actually pretty broken because you can just search your deck for any 2 cards that you want. So again, this build focusing mainly on fighting type attacks, fighting energies. So what I also incorporate in the design, or at least the combination of VMAXs that I use, is their weakness. So Sandaconda VMAX is not weak against Psychic, so in case we encounter Mew VMAX builds, we don't have to worry about it. But as of right now, I'm just gonna focus on my setup. So this is going into my 3rd turn, which is really bad. I should have been able to set up already, but I think we need to do this because we have a rare candy and an evolution instance at the same time. It's not really ideal for me to use Peony and lose these essential cards, because if I don't have these readily available in my deck, it's gonna ruin everything. And I'm just watching out for their Radiant Heatran, because if we're not careful, that can actually one-hit knock out our VMAXs. With enough damage counters on that Radiant Heatran, it can deal thousands and thousands of damages. So just be careful with that, guys. So let's go ahead and evolve into our KLINKLANG. And what I'm gonna do is energize my VMAX here, and I think I'm gonna focus on Sandaconda for now. I mean, I could spread it out, but I'm gonna go for Sandaconda for the meantime. Put it in the active spot, and then yeah, I'm just gonna use Gmax Cyclone. We are knocking out their active, and just gonna transfer energies to our Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, so we can deal a double knockout on our next turn. But like I said, I'm just watching out against their Radiant Heatran. I don't think they can attack this turn just yet with a full amount of damage to knock out a VMAX, but it is possible. So they are building up their damage counters. And like I said, depending on the damage counters on Radiant Heatran, that's how much damage it's going to deal. But they are also using Charizard V-Star, if I have to guess. It could be a Charizard V-Star or a Charizard VMAX. But we'll find out. Okay, they need to find an evolution here. This could be any type of Charizard. Okay, they're just gonna deal 30 damage with Scratch. Alright. Put this energy on Sandaconda. So what's gonna happen here is if I attack with the spread damage, that's gonna increase the damage counter on their Heatran, and that could possibly just get us killed here. So get another Peony and switch. I think I'll have to attack with Rapid Strike Urshifu and just finish off the Radiant Heatran to get it out of the way. I'm just gonna target their active as well. So that's gonna get us 2 prizes this turn. There it is. Now I don't have to worry about their Heatran. with one card left in their hand, I think their setup is pretty much down the drain. But we are running out of energies, though. We'll have to recover that at some point. And wow, okay. They got to energize and draw a bunch of cards. They're gonna deal 90 damage with their Moltres, okay. But not quite enough to deal enough damage to throw us off here. I can just energize my Sandaconda, use Peony. We don't have any switch though. So I'll just go for the next best thing. I'll just get a rare candy and an evolution incense. We have another KLINKLANG, and I did take off Luxray out of this deck and just opted for extra copies of KLINKLANG. And we're just gonna fully energize our Rapid Strike Urshifu to get another double knockout here. VMAX Rapid Flow. Yeah, sorry man. This is how broken this build is. Our drawing option though is really bad. So as of right now, we are actually top decking or dead drawing, but thankfully, we're getting the cards that we need. So my opponent has little options here. They have, I don't know what they're gonna do actually. We need one more knockout here. We can just use our Sandaconda to deal a lot of damage and then go from there. But yeah, there you have it, guys. The KLINKLANG option. We have a switch. We could just finish off their active with our Sandaconda with another VMAX Cyclone for the win. There it is, guys. Good game. And that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to smash the like button for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching the Popsicleknight channel, and as always, stay safe and have a great day.